Russian Culture by Simran Sharma. Cultural determinants. Rus is derived from a tribe that gained political insurgency in Kiev and other Slavic towns, and gave their name to their culture, language, and state. Historians also believe that Rus could be translated from an ancient name of the Volga River which borders Russia and Europe. Those who ethnically identify as Russian have been culturally dominant throughout the vast majority of the country for the last 500 years and during the Soviet imperial expansion. The most widespread religion in Russia is Russian Orthodox Christianity, where the Orthodox faith is taken very seriously. Russia was initially a Hindu country in the early 1600s, but since then has tried to emerge as a sub-religion. Ballet is the most notable art form devised by Russia. Created in 1776, ballet has traveled from its birthplace of the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow to over 128 countries around the world. Russia is the largest country in the world at 17.1 million kilometers squared. This means that it would take a minimum of 11 days to drive across Russia. Russia has many climates as it is such a huge country. Northern climates are described as Arctic and subarctic, with temperatures dropping as low as negative 88 degrees Celsius. Yes, negative 88. In the temperate and subtropical regions of Russia, temperatures ranging from 20 to 32 degrees are expected. And fun fact, Russia has 9 time zones. Russia scored a whopping 93 on Hofstede's ranking system of the power distance dimension. This number displays that there are a lot of inequalities between the finances of the Russian population. Uncertainty avoidance is also measured in Hofstede's assessments, which is how cultures adapt to ambiguous situations. Russians ranked high in this category as well with a score of 95. Russians are not very trusting in new revelations and often take time to process the scenario. Russia scored very low in the masculinity category with a score of 36. A high masculinity score means that people are more motivated to achieving greatness and wanting to be the best. A low masculinity score, which is what Russia has, means that citizens are more motivated to do what makes them happy and settle for success of satisfaction as opposed to success of money. Russia is an individualistic country where most citizens rely on themselves for prosperity and judgment. Of course, close relationships exist between friends and families. However, the paths of Russians are determined by themselves and themselves only. Culturally, Russians have a long-term orientation. They have pragmatic mindsets and adapt to traditions fluently. They are open to modifying education and adapting to the future to deal with goals and obstacles. Business etiquette. Business in Russia is rather challenging without the assistance of a local connection. To improve the chances of success, a small gift is often helpful. One with your company logo or a local gift from your country would really please them. When greeting a Russian businessman, shake hands firmly and maintain direct eye contact. If you are entering one's house, shake hands after crossing the threshold. Always shake hands with your bare hands, as not removing gloves is considered rude. Never use first names unless permitted to. The first name bases take a few warm interactions. When conversing, Russians find it pleasing when one shows an interest in their language by attempting to say something in Russian or asking questions about translation. Speaking English is acceptable as it is comfortably and commonly taught in schools, but do not speak too loudly in public. Bringing up Russian culture and changes in society are appreciated, as Russians admire foreigners who express polite opinions about history. Russians are very fond of children, so if you have children, feel free to show pictures of them. At all costs, avoid complaints you have with Russia, the Holocaust, monarchy, and comparing Russians to developing countries. They find that very offensive. Body language is important as well. Do not stand around with your hands in your pockets. Never show the soles of your shoes, and don't let them come intact with seats, as they are considered the dirtiest part of clothing. It is insulting to summon someone with your forefinger. Instead, face your hand downwards and signal your hand in an inward motion with your fingers. Holidays and rituals. Ooh, isn't that fun? Russian New Year's, traditional version, on January 14th, includes the lighting of a New Year's tree and visits from Ded Moroz, which is the Russian version of Santa Claus, who is tall, thin, and wears red. Sviatki, Russian Christmastide is very special for Russians, where fortune-telling and caroling is performed. The most iconic act during this holiday is polar dipping in rivers or streams, which is said to bestow magical powers and symbolize the baptism of Jesus. Maslenitsa is the Russian equivalent of Mardi Gras. Russians tend to eat large amounts of food on this day, including pancakes made by the grandmothers, and the children indulge in winter games. The purpose of this holiday is to celebrate the exit of winter and welcome the spring. For weddings, Russians traditionally get married in June, as this is the common season for it. Brides purchase the fanciest dresses that their budget allows, while the groom visits the civil office to arrange the ceremony and registration. The family and guests throw flowers, coins, and release butterflies as a sign of good luck. After the couple finish their vows, the groom typically sweeps the bride up in his arms and kisses her in front of everyone. Wow, look at those pictures. That looks so fun. Languages. Russian is the primary language. English is commonly spoken as well, however, and some minority languages include Tatar, Ukrainian, and Chuvash. Meeting culture. Always dress formally. Suits for both men and women are the norm. Arrange meetings 6 weeks in advance roughly and confirm the date a couple days prior. Business cards with documentation printed in both English and Russian are proper etiquette. Do not be too persistent, as Russian businessmen take time and consideration into their negotiations, so do not be pushy. Do not pressurize your counterparts during the meetings, as it is considered tacky. Food. Yum, yum, yum. For breakfast, Russians love bulking up on carbs with meals like blini, a Russian type of pancake or crepe, or syrinki, a smaller type of the blinis, made with cottage cheese and topped with fruit. Kasha is the most common meal in Russia, as it is easy to make, affordable, and healthy. Dumpling-like foods such as vareniki and pelmeni are the most admired home-cooked meals by Russians. A dinner in Russia would consist of one or more salads with mayonnaise, beets, onions, and pickles, and kotleti, meatballs, are included as well as a side with mashed potatoes. Desserts in Russia are highly regarded in Asia and European cuisine. On a menu, expect to see medovik, a type of cake, shorlotka, a type of pie, and varin, a fruitful pudding. Just look at those pictures. Don't they look delicious? Dress or clothing. Traditional Russian clothing is worn on holidays and celebrations and is specific to the time of year. For example, you might wear some warmer traditional clothing in the winter, and in the summer, usually wedding season, you might wear short sleeve or long sleeve. For men, Tolstoy and Kosovorotka shirts are worn, and for women, Alkina dresses are worn with kokoshnik hats. Some popular urban clothing brands in Russia include Gosha Rubchinsky, Grunge John Orchestra, O22, and Sputnik 1985. That is all for my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot about Russian culture.